Hey, 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 happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, incredibly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief, as well as Polar Vortex 2025. And we will talk about our sponsor in just a few moments. But welcome aboard, everybody. Tonight is Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. This is live show 1149. If you're not overly familiar with this show, let me point out, super casual. We're certainly not engaged in anything, say, like rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. No, we're just hanging out, having some fun, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. And all throughout the month of February, we are once again going to be taking live first looks and sharing live unboxings here on the Dispatch. And tonight, it is a Wargame Wednesday. We are going to dive on in and take a look at In the Shadows from my friends over at GMT Games. So stay tuned. We will be diving on in for an unboxing in just a few moments. Should also point out, if you are tuning in to check out the unboxing, we always tackle the tabletop gaming news first. So it's probably going to be about 25 to 30 minutes before we get on into that unboxing. So that's if you're watching live. If you are watching after the fact on Memorex, then by all means, utilize the show notes, utilize the timestamps on the video itself. If you want to just jump right to the unboxing, you will be able to, once the stream is over and I put those timestamps in. It's usually within about 15 minutes of the end of the stream that those are up. So we've got that too. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Then, of course, because this is a live stream, there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. And you must be a subscriber to the channel in order to take part in chat and be a subscriber for a whole 10 minutes. I know for some people out there, that's half of a lifetime. It's another way I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you check both those boxes, be a subscriber for at least 10 minutes, and you want to say howdy, maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my very best to respond. Let's see. First out the gate tonight is our good friend of the show, the Madman. Kevin R. Smith is also with us, as is Jose Fernandez, Sean O'Donnell, Bradley Thorpe, Gleam1 RX, and Semper Buffo, as well as Russell Higgins, are all in the house. Welcome to you all. And I will also take a guest, the lovely and talented Miss Sarah D., another of our chat moderators alongside the Madman, might be lurking in the shadows as well. So howdy, everybody. Yes. So let's talk about our sponsor. That's right. We are sponsored for, well, let's see, up till the 13th of the month by Polar Vortex 9. Take a break from the cold this February by gathering with friends and family to enjoy the warmth and fun of playing games together at Polar Vortex 2025, Chicagoland's favorite local winter gaming convention. The Polar Vortex team and I, because I will be there, as will my best friend Elliot Miller and my brother Greg. Yes. I know that's a massive selling point, right? Oh my gosh, Jeff's brother's gonna be there. Oh, I gotta buy tickets. Anyway, we invite you to join us at the Sheridan Lyle Naperville Hotel, February 14th through the 16th. Polar Vortex grew out of a desire to create a general tabletop gaming convention in the Chicago region that gaming hobbyists and the general public could enjoy. They also want to support local game retailers and publishers and give back to the general community. At Polar Vortex 2025, you're going to find such activities as Play and Win, which you'll actually be able to play some games that I previously owned, and you could end up going home with them. That's how Play and Win works. There is the Catan National Qualifier, D&D Adventurers League, Star Wars role-playing game, Pathfinder Society, Starfinder Society, Traveler, Mothership. There's a Crokinole tournament. I pronounced it correctly this time, or at least closer to correctly this time out. There's a board game library, bolt action tournament, Star Wars Legion tournament, Gaslands tournament. I know Elliot and I are playing Gaslands. I don't know if it's a tournament that we're in. I don't think so. I think we're just playing in an event. Costume contest. There's raffles for Extra Life Chicago, which benefit the Lurie Children's Hospital. There's paint and take, painting seminars. There's a painting competition, vendors, crafters, artists, and plenty more. Celebrate Valentine's Day Friday night with a special semi-private event where couples, singles, friends, and even 6 kobolds and 2 trench coats can enjoy a variety of 2-player games while indulging in a build-your-own Sunday bar. I must admit, Friday night I will be probably hanging out at another kind of bar. The Polar Vortex team is excited to offer another fun convention experience this year, packed with a wide range of activities. You can learn more by visiting polarvortex.games. And if you want to register for the convention, you can do so over at tabletop.events. Yes. As I mentioned, Elliot and I are signed up for a couple of events. One on Saturday, one on Sunday. Elliot can't make it on Friday, so I'm flying solo Friday night. Yes. But we are going to play the Playtest Adventure 1 for Starfinder because I have not actually read it. I did not review it. So Sammy has tackled that, if I remember correctly. So it'll be new to me, and then we're going to take part in Gaslands as well. So I think Gaslands is Saturday, and then I think the Starfinder is on Sunday. Nice, very nice. So I am looking forward to it. It's going to be a nice, 3-day weekend. Get away from the house, get away from the homestead, because I am actually staying there at the hotel. So pretty sweet, pretty sweet. All right. So that is our sponsor. Let's jump on into the news. Well, actually, I think before we do, I will say hello to Sarah D, who's chiming in, saying hello. And Kathy Evans is also stopping on by in chat. Good to see you both. All right. Following a successful Kickstarter and unfortunately about a 6-month delay, Goodman Games will be releasing Dungeon Denizens for both Dungeon Crawl Classics and 5e. Here's the latest. From out of the darkness they come, stalking and slithering, flopping and flapping. These denizens of dungeons dark and deep creep out to consume and destroy. And this time, they're after you. Dungeon Denizens is a monster of a book containing over 550 fully detailed monsters for your Dungeon Crawl Classics game. These monsters lurk everywhere. Dungeons, forests, swamps, oceans, mountains, cities, and even other dimensions. They provide plenty of opportunities for the judge to create challenging encounters for even the most skilled and demanding players. Each entry includes brand new full-color art, fully developed Dungeon Crawl Classic statistics, or 5e if you want to go with that flavor, ecology, evocative lore, and tactics. You'll also find 3 new spells, new patron information, new weapons and equipment, 15 new magic items, plus curses, monster templates, new critical hit tables, and more. Of course, this is the Dungeon Crawl Classics edition. The next time the characters open a dungeon door, surprise them with a dungeon denizen. You can score the 500-plus page hardcover in the flavor of your choice with PDF for $69.99 when it lands later this month. Rumor has it, could be in stores next week. Sweet, very nice. Very nice. Over 550 new monsters to terrorize your players with. Yes. I will say, I keep kicking around maybe buying the Dark Tower Original Adventures Reincarnated. I know. I think it's still $100 though. I have the first 6. Kind of want to have that volume too. Plus, I've got to say, I'm not familiar with Dark Tower at all. And I do know that Goodman Games has expanded it as well. So there's extra content, not just a Dungeon Crawl Classics-ified Dark Tower from the original Judges Guild adventure. But hey, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Dungeon Denizens. Looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. On to our next news piece. The 3rd and final volume of Gods of the Forbidden North is now up for crowdfunding, and I've got the scoop from Pulp Hummock Press. Gods of the Forbidden North is a massive 3-volume mega adventure series for a party of 6 to 8 heroes of 1st to 14th level. The trilogy details an Arctic campaign setting, a wilderness hex crawl, a sprawling underworld with dozens of connecting surface tunnels, 11 dungeons spanning low to high level, and most importantly, a big old school mega dungeon, the dreaded Castle Tharganon. Though this was designed as a sandbox campaign, it supports episodic adventure path playstyles for those gamers who prefer that model. Taken together, the trilogy comprises a staggering 1,400 plus pages of any award-winning adventure content for your gaming table, which just might make it one of the biggest published adventures of all time by page count, if not word count, at the very least. I will say, I am pretty sure that this is the longest old school essentials adventure ever. How about that? Having completed the first 2 books, Pulp Hummock are now fundraising to cover the artwork, writing, editing, layout, and printing costs for the final tome, Volume 3. With your generous and enthusiastic support, they'll be able to bring this project to life and unveil it to the RPG community at large. The trilogy is written for the Old School Essentials Advanced Fantasy Tabletop role-playing game by Necrotic Gnome, which is a popular retro clone of Tom Moldvay's Basic Expert Dungeons & Dragons with a few added elements sprinkled in from first edition AD&D. As far as the author's knowledge at the time of this writing, Gods of the Forbidden North is the only mega adventure product on the market that's specifically designed for the Old School Essentials Advanced Fantasy game, as is, out of the box, rules as written, without any system modifications. With little conversion effort, this mega adventure could easily be adapted to any old school fantasy role-playing game system, such as Swords and Wizardry, Shadowdark, Hyperborea, Knave, Castles and Crusades, Osric, or even Basic Fantasy. There is a short Kickstarter video, so let's give it a peek.
fools who dare step foot in my realm, who seek to claim what is rightfully mine. You defeated my armies. Now you return, chasing whispers of jewels and glory. But you are blinded by greed, softened by peace. Your courage will falter, your flesh will fail. Turn back or seal your doom. Turn back from this nightmare cube. For all those who enter Tharganon, the treasures you seek will gild your tombs.
The Kickstarter to fund Gods of the Forbidden North Volume 3 is fully funded. You can reserve a premium copy of the 400-plus page hardcover with PDF for a $69 pledge, the standard print-on-demand edition hardcover for a $39 pledge, or just grab the PDF alone for a $29 pledge through March 6th. Expected delivery for the physical books is a year from now, February of 2026. The digital files should be available in December. And I should also point out, I have volume 2 right here. Stay tuned. I will have my review this weekend. I finished it up. I didn't realize that this Kickstarter was kicking off already. So I've been kind of holding back on doing my review. It's like, okay, all right, all righty. So I have to laugh because Sarah D said, how could she miss a show about what's in the shadows, which is the unboxing that we're doing tonight? Yes, because that's where Miss Sarah D lurks. Yes. Somebody is in chat talking about, who was it that just mentioned? Hey, was that? Oh, Gleeman RX said they're guessing that video was AI generated. Kevin R. Smith says they don't know. They didn't count fingers. Yes, I certainly don't think they hired a Hollywood studio and actors for that introduction. I don't know. I have no idea. No idea. I would take a guess it was computer generated. Flaming Huron is with us in chat. He's the third of our 3 chat moderators. We got all of our chat moderators hanging out with us tonight. Welcome aboard. On to our next news piece. There's a new Hero Games bundle of holding, and I've got the deets on the deal. New Worlds of Adventure Hero. This new Hero 4E Campaigns bundle features tabletop role-playing campaign source books for the 4th edition of the Hero system from, you guessed it, Hero Games. Now, almost 8 years after Bundle of Holding gathered the entire 4th edition product line for Champions, 65 books of that superhero role-playing game, you can see them all in the just revived April 2017 Champions 4E Essentials and Universe bundles, which are in progress. But this is the 3rd bundle that's going on, because this actually brings you all the non-superheroic 4E campaign source books that adapt the universal hero rules to horror, cyberpunk, fantasy, martial arts, action, the Old West, and anime. For just $14.95, you'll get all 8 titles in the Hero 4E collection, has a retail value of $70, as DRM-free PDFs, including Cyber Hero, Fantasy Hero for 4E, Fantasy Hero Companions 1 and 2, Horror Hero Endless Nightmares, the anime sourcebook and setting book Kazai 5, and the 4E versions of Ninja Hero and Western Hero. Fantasy Hero 4E and its 2 companion supplements originally appeared in a previous bundle of holding. Titles in this offer are new, many of them, to Bundle of Holding, and they have a combined retail value of $47.50. Most of these PDFs are image scans of the original hard copy source books with crisp text and OCR applied. The exception here is Western Hero, which has no OCR and no bookmarks. Now you can enjoy these savings on this bundle through February 24th. I got to say, it wasn't that long ago that we had a Champions bundle. We had the 2 Champions bundles of holding, which are back once again, plus this. Interesting. And of course, this is for a previous edition. What are they on now for Champions? Are they on like the 6th edition of their hero system? Seems about right. I think they are on the 6th edition. Age of Adventure is with us tonight. Welcome aboard. They mentioned they never knew hero was used for non-soups games. Yeah, it's pretty much a generic sort of non-genre specific. Because I think there's, if I remember right, I think there's just a core rule book you can pick up. Should also mention you must have the core rule book to use these supplements, and that core rule book is not part of this bundle. So keep that in mind. Lewin RX says, Wiki says Champions is in its 6th edition from 2010. Wow, I guess it's probably due for a new edition, eh? Shanbot B42 is chiming on in. Good to see ya. All right, moving right along. There's a new source book for the Secret War Savage Worlds Adventure Edition setting. It's currently up for crowdfunding, and I've got the latest from Star Anvil Studios. Sex, Drugs, and Rockefeller. The Secret World North America is a source book for the Secret World tabletop role-playing game. Within these pages, you'll find the continent's conspiracies and horrors, as well as the inner workings of the Illuminati, who have claimed the region as its headquarters. Discover the cryptic underworld of North America, explore new cities, fascinating legends, cryptids, and battles being fought in the shadows. Join the front lines in the war between those who want to destroy the world and the factions that scheme to control it. The Illuminati are the most entrenched of these factions in North America. From their roots in ancient Egypt to their modern strongholds in high-rises made of glass and steel, these masterminds orchestrate global power plays and pull the strings of government. Uncover their machinations in this source book in order to better oppose them or join them in their rule. The Secret World role-playing game is an adaptation and continuation of the iconic modern horror MMORPG. Heroes in the Secret World are agents of powerful conspiracies, armed with supernatural powers and tasked with protecting the world from the forces of darkness. With its urban horrors, ancient conspiracies, and secret societies, the setting is bursting with ideas for your own games and stories. There is a short Kickstarter video, so let's give it a look.
We are Enigma.
We are information.
We are everywhere.
We are the Illuminati.
You may have met us in dim-lit, smoke-filled back rooms, or maybe through neon-ridden, seizure-inducing webtoons. We know you've read our code, seen our signs. We're millennia old, but forever upgrading, innovating, moving to the new world from the old, still being cryptic and keeping encrypted to all but an elite few like you. You may have been looking for us, but we've been watching you this whole time. The eye sees all. Don't blink, because you have been chosen.
The flow of data is our lifeblood. Knowledge, our currency. What you think you know is what we want you to believe. We keep the secret world hidden in plain sight. Someone catches Bigfoot on camera? That's fine. We'll have 20 experts authenticate the clip as more real than gravity. And then get 40 authorities to say how it's all an incredible hoax. We'll flood your channels with so much info that you forgot why you even cared in the first place. But now, you have a choice to be the one at the controls. To be one of us. Don't mistake this for an offer that you can refuse.
We started in the old world. Maybe Bavaria, maybe Egypt. It doesn't matter. Now we run North America. From Montreal to Mexico City and all parts in between. Our eye never sleeps, seeing all through countless data streams and news feeds. We're curators, protectors to those who matter and what is truly important. That legacy is now on you as well. Welcome to the Illuminati.
The Kickstarter for the Secret World North America is nearing its funding mark. You can reserve a copy of the source book, archetypes, and the print-on-demand option for either the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition or 5e edition for a $30 pledge through February 22nd. Expected delivery is March of next year, which I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised it's that far out, seeing that it's a PDF. There's no printing involved. Man, I don't know. Kind of weird. So I have to say, I never played the Secret World. I always heard people kind of, pumped about it. And then what was the company that owned it? I forget. Oh, wasn't it like Funcom or something like that? And they just pulled the plug on it. It was like, oh, okay. I heard the combat sucked. That's what I remember most. People were saying, wow, the setting and like the missions were really cool, but the combat was pretty bad. Don't know. I will say the other thing I think I've got the facts on, I guess I'll say, is that the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, The Secret World, is a setting book. So it's, built on, of course, Savage Worlds, and you have to have the Savage Worlds like core rules to use it. But I think the 5e is actually the game book itself. So, of course, this is a source book for those. There are some pledge levels, too, if you want to get what's already out there for the Secret World, too. So you can jump on board and get the whole shebang if you'd like. All right, on to our final news piece. A sandbox adventure locale is now available for the Grimwild fantasy role-playing game from Oddity Press. And I've got the lowdown on Galenvale. Galenvale is a countryside valley home to the sleepy town of Galen. It's a place for new adventurers to start making a name for themselves. They can explore the local area as they please and seek opportunities for adventure and mischief. GMs will find a compact sandbox geared for player exploration, filled with narrative hooks for them to pursue. It's the perfect way to start your Grimwild campaign and to learn the ropes of playing and running Grimwild. This is a full-color 32-page zine, and inside you will find an open sandbox. Galenvale is a compact sandbox open for your players to choose their own path, but easy for a game master to manage. Its districts, important buildings, major NPCs, and internal conflicts of the town of Galen is right there at your fingertips. It's a place your players can shape the future of and will learn to call home. There are over 10 sandbox locations, from old forts to water mills with quest hooks and conflicts to solve, as well as a countryside setting that's perfect for chill game nights and for introducing players to Grimwild. The 32-page PDF can be had right now over at Drive-Thru RPG for $10. Very nice. Grimwild is a very popular PDF over on Drive-Thru RPG. Curiouser and curiouser. I shared a news piece about it last week, and there are now 2 new supplements for it, such as the aforementioned Galenvale, and then there's another supplement. I might even share a news piece about that tomorrow, and I don't know why are we getting the Space Penguin ink popping on up here. Yada. Kevin R. Smith says, yeah, that sounds about right as far as the Secret World North America. 5e so fantasy specific, you'd need to write the rules for a modern setting almost from whole cloth. Yeah, I don't think there's really any like modern source books that are from fairly large publishers for 5e, which don't take that route, where it's basically the rule book. It's not just a supplement where you need to have the SRD or the core books for 5e. So pretty wild, pretty cool. All right, that's it for the news tonight. Of course, I was just talking about Drive-Thru RPG. Don't forget, Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you're going to stop on by, say, Drive-Thru RPG, Storyteller's Vault, Dungeon Masters Guild, even Wargame Vault, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up. Help keep thegaminggang.com around. And of course, if you like the video, if you dig the channel, if you find the Gaming Gang to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, you can always stop on by paypal.me/thegaminggang and make a small donation. Hell, you could buy me a 2-liter bottle of soda. Oh, that's lovely. And there are a few folks out there who stop on by and make not small donations, such as Joshua Edwards, Lisa Watkins, and the Madman this month. So thank you to all of you who utilize those banner ads and or stop by paypal.me/thegaminggang. It is much appreciated. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, we are going to dive in and we are going to unbox and take a first look at In the Shadows from GMT Games. We're going to do that in just a few moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
No Bronco Buster anywhere can ride a horse like Bosco Bear. Bosco drinks his Bosco. Bosco drinks his Bosco. Bosco loves his Bosco.
You love Bosco too? It's real chocolatey.
That's Bosco Milk Amplifier, made by an exclusive process that gives you all these extras. Bosco and milk gives you extra energy, more and faster energy. It's so easy to mix. And Bosco is double chocolatey. makes the smoothest chocolate drink of all. It's rich in vitamin D and muscle-building iron. And Bosco can be served so many different, wonderful ways.
Bosco makes a soda. Bosco makes a sundae. Every day's a fun day with B-O-S-C-O.
Everybody loves Bosco.
Want a cup of Wilkins coffee?
What'll Mr. Wilkins do if I don't?
Oh, he'll probably put his foot down.
They were an average alien family living on their own planet. And we were an average family living on ours.
He took my Coke, Mom. Come on, you guys.
I don't have it. I didn't take it.
I knew it.
Accidents happen, and like us, they found themselves in a strange new neighborhood.
I like it.
Me too.
Shh. Communing with the Earth spirits.
Welcome to California, bud.
Alert, alert. We have a malfunction. We have a malfunction.
Their lives were in danger.
Back off, Larry. Get away from it. Down. We've got a problem here.
They had to escape. When the smoke cleared, their family was separated. Somehow, one of the aliens was hiding in our house. The government wanted to capture him.
It's here.
Everyone was after him. And my brother, Eric, wants to make friends.
We got him!
Turn it off!
You sucked this living thing into a vacuum cleaner?
Yeah, and then we blew him out again.
Now Eric is risking not only his life, but my life.
Give me the gun. Step back!
To save them.
This is the police.
There he is! I told you they don't understand.
It's about more than friendship. It's about adventure. Mac and me.
In my life, there has been only one time I was ever ashamed to be a Chicago Cubs fan. And it was after I saw that movie. I was like, oh, Lord. They have to drag us through the mud. We have E.T. at home, kids. We don't need to stop and go see E.T. We got E.T. at home. Shanbot B42 says it's the Kmart version of E.T. DB is with us in chat, says it wishes it was the Kmart version of E.T. Cardboard Commander is with us in chat. I believe this might be a first-time visit in chat for Cardboard Commander. So welcome aboard. Make yourself right at home. So tonight, we're going to dive on in and do a first look at In the Shadows from my friends over at GMT Games. This is designed by Dan Bullock and Joe Schmidt with graphics provided by Terry Leeds. The game is for 1 or 2 players, ages 14 and up, plays in around 30 to 45 minutes, and carries an MSRP of $49. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got In the Shadows. Do want to mention my friends over at GMT Games were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. It's important that you know that. So let's get the shrink wrap off. And this is a game about the French resistance in World War II in 1943 and 44. So, very nice. Let me take a peek at something here. Just want to make sure that this is in focus, because I am using a different lens. Because usually if I'm doing a page through or anything like that, I use one specific lens, which is just at a set focal length. This lens that I'm using here is not. It does have an adjustable zoom. So, and of course, it's the Panasonic. So, you know, Panasonic's not exactly the greatest autofocus out there. All right, so taking a peek at the back here, In the Shadows is a two-player card-driven game about the desperate struggle of the French resistance against the occupying Nazi and collaborating French forces between January 1943 and June 1944. In the game, you'll play as either the resistance or the occupation in a fight over the hearts and minds of the French people. The game strives to have players better understand the nuances of the resistance and the clandestine nature of the fight that led to the founding of the Fourth French Republic. Gameplay of In the Shadows is driven by event cards and actions based on suits. The game relies on 3 different suits to determine the cost and effectiveness of your actions. Narratively, this is meant to represent the vital importance of local networks and resources. You may be working with resources in Paris, but need to perform sabotage actions in Vichy. In this way, the game can better replicate the choices that the leaders of the occupation and resistance needed to make. The game also uses a resolution deck in lieu of dice. These cards allow players to resolve an action with the flip of a card. This unique system allows for a streamlined game that lets players focus more on strategy, making for a compelling and quick-playing gaming experience. Also says, In the Shadows offers a narrative solitaire option where players can take on the role of the leader of the resistance movement. These different playable characters will allow for diverse experiences against a challenging occupation automata. This makes In the Shadows unique in that players will essentially be able to enjoy 2 different games in the same box. Well. Agile Monk is popped on in to chat with us. Coco B is also hanging with the gang tonight. All right, so let's take a peek inside. So we have got our rules of play, and then we've got our solitaire rules of play. So first thing we'll do is we will take a peek at the rules here. So we get our introduction, our components. So we have resistance cells, informants, German units, action pawns, different markers. We've got a deck of event cards and a deck of resolution cards. Talking about our event cards. So red is for the resistance, gray is for the occupation. We've also got our game board. So different areas here for us to perform actions. And we've got our action point tracker, occupation resources. We'll get a closer look at that map as well. Russell Higgins points out they like the production values on GMT Games. They are always top notch. So we've got our game pieces here, setting up. Sequence of play. We have an initiative phase, action phase, and end phase. So in the initiative phase, each player draws cards from the event deck until they have 2 cards in their hand. Each player then chooses 1 event card from their hand, places it face down in front of them. You reveal those cards simultaneously. The player with a higher AP value card gets to choose who's going to act first. If it's a tie, the resistance player decides. And then the person chosen becomes the acting player. The event on the acting player's card is resolved. If the event has a red band, the resistance player executes the event effect. The event has a gray band, the occupation player executes the event effect. Once the event's been resolved, the acting player performs any number of actions with the action points provided by the event card. Aha! So that's kind of cool. So you'll have the event and the action points. Unlike many card-driven games from GMT, it's either or. Each time the resistance player chooses to attempt the same type of action, example, sabotage, more than once in the same zone using the same card, a covert unit must be uncovered in that same zone. If there are no covert units in that zone, the resistance may not repeat the action there. All right, then we have our end phase. So the confiscated resources marker is in the occupation confiscated resources space. Reset the marker to a gray space. The resistant flips any uncovered maquis in blue zones to their covert side, and the resistance may place one maquis from the recruitment pool in any blue zone. So we got our resistance actions: move uncovered, move covert, hide resistance, ambush, recruit, and sabotage. Occupation actions: move milice, German, or informant. Round up the usual suspects, no doubt. Uncover, informant, arrest, and reprisal. Looks like we've got some examples here. And for our victory, during a game of In the Shadows, victory is determined in one of the following ways. Number one, the occupation player wins immediately if there are no resistance units on the map and the occupation has met the minimum occupation resources for the current authority level. Two, the occupation player wins immediately if the occupation resources marker is in the 7 space and the resistance player has less than the required number of units on the map. Or during the end phase of round 9, if the minimum occupation resources have been met and the resistance has less than the required number of units on the map, the occupation player wins. Otherwise, the resistance player wins. So it looks as if the resistance player needs to be able to survive all 9 rounds in order to even have a shot at victory, because there was no instant victory for resistance in those 3 victory conditions. So we've got historical card notes. This is one of my favorite things about GMT games. When we have any sort of kind of card-driven game, I always like to get the historical information about what each of those cards represent. Looks like we got some historical notes and some very short designer notes. So those are our rules of play. Let's take a peek real quick at the solitaire rules of play. Which I think kind of changes things up a little bit, because the way it was coming across on the back of the box was, it's as if these are really 2 different games in the same box. So it's showing our setup here. So we have the same we've got the initiative phase, action phase, end phase. The occupation bot. So we've got a little chart here, which I'll take a guess will probably also have a player aid telling us what the occupation will do. Here's the actions available to the resistance, actions available to the occupation bot. And during a game of In the Shadows, victory is determined during the end phase of turn 9. At that time, if you have the required number of resistance units on the map for the current level of authority and have met the secondary victory conditions of your persona, then you win. If you have not achieved both of these victory conditions, you lose. All right. So there is our occupation bot on the back. So I guess because it's on the back here, maybe we're not going to see it on the player aid sheet. So this is The resistance, that is the occupation. So we've got 2 of these, so 1 for each player. Let's take a look at this board. Pretty small board. It's just a couple of panels. That's fine. That's cool. This is a game that's designed to be essentially finished up in all of maybe a lunch hour, right? It's about 30 to 45 minutes. So we've got our resistance operations. This is our authority. The disappeared. That's a little ominous there. Our round tracker, our various different areas, occupation resources, and then action points. We have a little punch board with some tokens, some counters here. We have got a variety of pawns and cylinders and cubes. I think the cubes represent the, I want to say they're the occupation forces. And I think the Vichy police. Here are our decks. Got some baggies, a lot of baggies for just a few counters there. And then, of course, as we always see, the cool insert for our box there. So pretty nice. So I am going to put this stuff back, and then we're going to zoom in. We're going to take a closer look at these cards. See what we've got with these. So we do know there are a couple of decks of these cards. And I am going to lock in the focus here. See what we've got. So we've got solitaire personas. We've got our resolution deck. Then we got our event deck. Oh, and then we got a solitaire event deck. And solitaire location deck. Huh. All right. What's going on here? That was weird. It's like I lock in the focus and it's like, meow. Probably held down the button a little too long. Okay. So, of course, we're not going to look at each and every one of these cards, but we are going to take a look at some of these. So that's for solitaire. So I'm going to put these off to the side. So we've got our event deck. This is for the 2-player game. Just taking a peek here. Citizen surveillance. The occupation may perform up to 2 free informant actions in zones without German units. Each zone must still have another occupation unit. I wonder if these are our action points. Could be. And I guess that's our suit. False papers. Josephine Baker. Clandestine press. What? Clandestine press, Jeff. Jeez. Can't even speak anymore. Pearl Witherington. Nice. I should mention cardstock, nice and thick. Although I always point out, just go get some penny sleeves, even though they're not a penny anymore. With any of these games, always sleeve your cards. Especially, looking at GMT Games releases, because, they sell out so quickly because their print runs tend to be relatively small. So if you pick up a game and then all of a sudden, some of the cards get trashed. It may not be available anymore. It could be out of print. So here's our resolution. So it looks like we've got ambush, arrest, sabotage, uncover, and recruit. And then up here it says combat, reshuffle. Huh. Interesting. It's kind of cool. All right. So that is our resolution deck. And we got our solitaire personas. Well, we have 4 of these. So you're going to take one randomly. So you'll have a special ability. And then, as we already saw with the solitaire rules, you've got a secondary victory condition that you must achieve in order to win. So that is for solitaire. Then we've got solitaire events, Nazi reprisals, betrayal, false papers. So some of these are the same. I'll take a guess that this information is different. So there we've got that. And then we've got the solitaire location deck. So showing us the different districts and zones. Huh. I am intrigued. I might actually bring this with to Polar Vortex and maybe try to play this with Elliot. Yes. All right. So we've got all of our cards. Let's put all this stuff back into the box. We've got our various different pawns and cylinders, our counters, our 2 rule books, as well as our 2 player aids. And that is what we find when we unbox In the Shadows. Let's pull back out here. There we go. From GMT Games. Looks interesting. Looks very interesting. And it's a subject that you really don't see a whole lot as far as, board games. So kind of cool. Kind of interesting. Smoking Pots is with us in chat. Says, only one question. Are there zombies? Nope. All righty. So that is a peek at In the Shadows from our friends over at GMT Games. Once again, this is for 1 or 2 players, ages 14 and up. Plays in around 30 to 45 minutes. Does carry an MSRP of $49. Yahoo! And of course, stay tuned. I will do my best to have a review of In the Shadows in the not too distant future. Okay, that is it for this time out. Pretty fast show. Yes. Tomorrow, we are supposed to see the deluxe box set for The Land of Eam from Exalted Funeral. So it is scheduled to arrive tomorrow. If it does show up, we will dive on in and we will take a first look at that. If not, then we will actually dive on into Tales of Argosa. Yes. This looks pretty cool too. So, and I'm trying to remember, this is from, got to look for the company here. Pickpocket Press. That's it. So if we do not see The Land of Eam, we will be taking a look at this on tomorrow's show. But keep in mind, if Land of Eam shows up, we'll be taking a look at this next week. So we've got a good amount of stuff already lined up. Yes. I also should point out, I've got a package that's coming from Sweden, and I have absolutely no idea what it is. So I know that the campaign builder, Dungeons and Ruins, and the map pack is en route. I think that's supposed to also show up tomorrow. And then I got word that there's a package that's being delivered. I think it's UPS. And it's coming from Sweden, and I have no idea what it is. It was supposed to show up tomorrow, but now I got an email saying it's delayed. It's going to arrive on Friday. So next week, I'll tell you what it was. All righty then. So if you're watching live, thank you very much. If you watched live and took part in chat, a bigger thank you, because not only are you keeping me company, you're keeping each other company as I'm unboxing stuff or flipping on through or just babbling on and on about something. But of course, I know a lot of folks out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you very much for taking time out to watch any of the over 2,100 videos here on the channel. It is much appreciated. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Don't forget, if you have an opportunity, appease those algorithm gods of YouTube and leave a comment as well. Of course, subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, when you do, by all means, please ring that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I share other videos, such as my upcoming review of Gods of the Forbidden North Volume 2 from Pulp Hummock Press. That's right. You'll be able to check out my review this weekend. Everybody enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and as always, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.